Hi everyone, this is Jadu from Property Framework, and today I want to talk about the process of valuing a property. Now, most people are not confident about placing offers because they're not really sure of what the property is actually worth. They don't have a process around valuing that property. So, today I thought it would be interesting if I selected a property in any market and try to assess what fair market value for that property would be. So I'm going to look at a property in Western Sydney that's going for auction very soon and try to see what you should be paying for that property. So stay till the end because I'm going to go through a process and you'll get some insights on how this can actually be done. You can even apply this the next time you're going to place an offer on a property. I'm sure you'll find it useful. So let's get into it. The property that we are interested in is number 7 Meth Place in Blacktown. So I've just opened that property up here. This property is going for auction on Saturday, the 28th of October at 1 p.m. So just having a look at this property, it presents really well on the outside. The gardens have been well maintained. These plants here have been trimmed well. It's a 556 meter square block and it's a rectangular block. Looking at the inside, it looks modern, it looks clean, and it looks like there's been a fresh coat of paint and some new carpets here. The bathrooms look a bit old style, but they still present very well, and the backyard also looks really neat and clean. So, a property that is definitely in a good condition. And let's just quickly also have a look at the street appeal of this property. So, just going to go into street view. This is the street. It looks like a neat and quiet street. The homes look to be well maintained. The gardens around are well maintained, and it looks like a pocket where owner occupiers would like to live. So it looks like a decent pocket in Blacktown. So property itself looks to be in a good condition. Interior, exterior is good, um, and the street appeal also looks good. Okay, now we're going to do some comparables, see which properties are in direct can be directly compared to this property to get an estimate of what this property would be actually worth. So to do that, let's just quickly have a look at the Blacktown price trend for three-bedroom houses. The prices for three-bedroom houses have been increasing until June 2022. After that, they went through a decline until April 2023. And since then, prices have been rising. So they've risen by approximately 4% in June 2023. So, which means that prices for three-bedroom houses are rising. So, which means that it won't be possible to negotiate and get discounts in this suburb. You have to be placing really competitive offers to get properties, especially three-bedroom houses. Now let's go into domain and have a look at the um, street profile. So okay, let's you can go into the research section and type in the street, and I've actually typed in Meth Place, and that has already opened up here. So if you look at Meth Place, it shows, it's already showing that there is this property here listed for sale. And it also shows the properties that have sold. So we're only interested in the property that sold recently. And it seems like there has been one property which has sold in September, three-bedroom, one bathroom, and it looks like it can be um, a direct comparable because it's in the same street. And let's have a look at this property. I'm just opening this up. Sold for 1 million. Okay, so the exterior presents really well. The landscaping has been done nicely. The interior looks good. Looks like there has been new flooring, new blinds have been put in place, new lighting, and the walls have got a fresh coat of paint. The kitchen looks modernized, and yeah, the rooms present well here. The bathroom is it still looks to be slightly old, but it looks to be in a good condition. It has been painted, and it looks like there's been new lighting in place as well. The exterior presents well. Everything has been maintained well. It's interesting to see because this property has gone through a renovation. If you see the older pictures, you can see that there's a big difference between the older pictures and the newer pictures that I'm showing. So the interior and exterior, there's been a lot of work that has been done, and it has sold at 1 million. Now, comparing this to our property, the property that we are interested in, it looks like this property is slightly superior just because of the extent of renovation that has been done on it. Okay, now let's go into realestate.com.au and look at the sold properties in Blacktown. I'm only interested in 3 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, 1 garage, and only interested in land sizes above 500 meters squared, similar to our property. And we're only interested in brick houses because the property that we are interested in is brick houses. So I'm going to ignore the weatherboard houses and only focus on brick houses. Okay, this is the first brick house that I'm seeing. So number 11 Marion Street, 3 bedroom, 1 bathroom, 562 meters squared. But if you look at the interior, this looks far more superior to the property that we are interested in. It's gone through significant renovation, so this property cannot be used as a direct comparable because the interior is definitely superior to our property. So moving down, we're trying to find more 3 bedroom, 1 bathroom. So we have one more property here, number 54 Castellan Street. Um, this property presents well, and it looks that the like the interior of this property could be comparable to the property that we are interested in. The exterior also presents very well. It has been neatly maintained. Let's just have a quick look at the street profile as well. Okay, this is the street view. Okay, it looks like a decent street. The grass has been well maintained, mowed. Um, the houses have been look to be well maintained in this street, and I would say it's somewhat comparable. The street profile also looks somewhat comparable to our property in Met Street. So 54 Castellan is actually looks like a direct comparable. Okay, let's move on to other properties. I'm just going to go directly into one more brick house that is a direct comparable. So we have number 2 K Street. The interior looks really good. This property is actually sold for 885K. Interior looks really good. Let's have a quick look at the street profile. Okay, so this is the street profile for 2K Street. As you can see, this property from here, the street profile doesn't look too appealing. You can see that the grass is overgrown, hasn't been maintained very well. You can see that there are overgrown plants in some of these houses, and it doesn't seem to have the same street appeal as the other houses that we saw earlier. And I'm guessing that's the reason why this sold at a slightly lower price. This sold at 885,000, and therefore it's possibly because of a different pocket that this property is located in. Okay, looking at the next one, 29 Reservoir Road in Blacktown. This is a 311, 562 meters squared. Just looking at these pictures here, the interior looks decent. It looks to be in a decent condition. I think our property is quite comparable to this, even though I think the property of our interest is slightly better because the exterior here, you can see that there is a shed that doesn't look to be in a great condition on the outside. The garden has been mowed. It looks neat and tidy, but overall I would still rate the property Number 7 Met Place, the property that we are interested in, to be slightly superior interior and exterior than this property. So it is somewhat of a comparable. So 955,000 sold in July 2023. I'm going to look at the street profile for number 29 Reservoir Road. Now, Reservoir Road is a fairly busy road. You can see there's a lot of traffic on this road, and noise would be a factor for this property. This road actually links to the Great Western Highway, so there's a lot of cars going in and out of this road, and therefore the street profile, the Meth Place property, definitely the street profile is much quieter than this, and therefore would be more preferable. But in any case, this property has still sold at 955,000, and it was just a few months ago in July 2023. So we have two properties that are direct comparables here, so three properties in fact. The first one was the same property in Mead Street, number 24 Mead Street. Then we had the property in Castellan Street, number 54 Castellan Street, which sold for 910. The Mead Street, 24 Mead Street sold for 1 million. And then we have 29 Reservoir Road, which sells for 955,000. Okay, and let's move on to the next one, which is number 20 Dora Street. This property is presents quite well. Interior looks to be very good. It's neat, tidy, and everything inside looks good. The condition, interior condition, is similar to the property of interest, and the exterior is also in good condition. But just looking at the street profile for this property, so this is Dora Street. Dora Street looks to be really nice. The street profile looks much better. In fact, it looks superior than the property of interest. As you can see, all the houses, the lawns have been well maintained. The houses look really nice, and it looks like a place where families would like to live. And that's why Dora Street has sold at a higher price. It's actually sold at 1,050,000. So I think this cannot be used as a direct comparable because the street profile looks really nice, and it's not very comparable to the one that we are looking at. And that pretty much completes the properties that we are going through. And from here, it looks like the property that's on the same street, number 24 Mid Street, is it's it has already sold at 1 million. So the owners of this property, number 7 Main Street, will be expecting something very close to that 1 million, because it's just down the street. They have a somewhat of a direct comparable. We also have other properties that have sold around that. Castellan Street property has sold at 910, and we have Reservoir Road that sold around that mid 900s, 950. But since we have a exact another property selling close to 1 million, the owners are going to set the reserve price quite high. I'm expecting the reserve price to be in the high 900s, and therefore a reasonable price for this property. That if you can get it around that 980, 990, that'll be a reasonable price. If you're getting it at 1 million, it's still not too bad, but I wouldn't go above 1 million for this property, just because you know it just wouldn't stack up. So 1 million, 980, 990, 1 million, they're all prices that are good prices to get it. Anything under 980 is going to be really good for this property. So I'm interested to see how this auction would go and how much this property would sell for, based on the analysis that we have done. So that's about it for the analysis, the valuation on this property. So essentially what we're doing is we're looking at the exterior, we're looking at the interior, we're looking at the front yard and backyard, and then we're looking at the street profile. We're just comparing properties that are exactly similar to the properties of interest. It has to be the same number of bedrooms, same number of bathrooms, same build material, and similar street profiles. So only when you have everything together, then you can compare this property with another property. And based on what we saw, We saw a few properties that looked somewhat similar, and therefore, based on that analysis, it seems like this property is going to sell in the high 900s. I hope you found this useful, and I hope you can apply this when you're next buying a property of your own.